The way we normally eat, a lot of diseases are waiting for those who are eating like that. Of course, nobody was born with cancer. You cannot reverse with drugs what you brought on by lifestyle problems. When you are really sick and you are eating, you are feeding your sickness, you are feeding your disease. Fasting alone cannot make you develop ulcer. It is when you have stress and you are not eating appropriately with the stress, that is when ulcer can come, because the stomach secretes acid. My name is Dr. Ndubisi Onoha. I'm a chief consultant physician and I'm a wellness practitioner. Today I'm talking about eating and health. We overeat. A lot of people overeat. When you are holding a party, that's not the time to begin to clean up. It's after the party is done, then they'll begin to clean up. If there's going to be another party, they must clean up. So when you're eating, it's like you're holding a party for your body. And then after that, there is need for your body to clean up, organize the useful contents from digestion, okay, and then utilize it to repair damaged cells. The toxins that are also part of the product of digestion, these are also removed from the system. Now, there are hormones that are elaborated when you eat. Chief among them is insulin. Now, insulin is a building hormone. It's an anabolic hormone. It also tends to promote inflammation. Sugar also promotes inflammation. And you know that inflammation is the driver of all the diseases: hypertension, diabetes, cancer, whatever, you name it. So, a lot of people today are highly inflamed because we keep eating. You're supposed to eat, and then after a while, you rest from eating. During the time that you eat, sugar comes up, followed by insulin, and then after 2 hours, sugar goes down, but insulin is still high. Insulin takes a while before it goes down. Now, if you start fasting, initially you become weak, especially if you have been used to eating for too long. Initially you feel weak, then after a while you begin to gain strength and energy when your body begins to break down fat about the 18th hour of fasting. And then brain fog also disappears. You have a lot of clarity. Then you begin to get energized from the 18th hour. And then you can do a lot of activity even without eating then. So if you look at most people, they eat in the morning. There's a lot of insulin. Then they eat in the afternoon before the insulin even goes down. Then again in the evening before insulin goes down. They also snack in their bed. All right, so you find out that they're just eating throughout. So the little hours that they sleep is not enough for you to do the proper cleansing. The ratio of insulin to glucagon is supposed to be less than 1 for you to begin to get benefit of cleansing in your system. So by the time you eat throughout the day, the ratio cannot be less than 1. It won't even get to 1 because of the high level of insulin that is still in the system. The way we normally eat, a lot of diseases are waiting for those who are eating like that. Of course, nobody was born with cancer. Okay? You're not born with hypertension. You're not born with diabetes. You're not born with autoimmune diseases. So all those diseases came in because of your lifestyle, particularly the way you eat. And I'm saying that we have been eating too much. There's a God of civilization. That God of modern day civilization, guess what? It's your stomach. You worship it every time. 2 times a day, 3 times a day. In fact, hardly a day that you don't put libations there. And it clogs your mind. It also, over time, clogs your DNA, your genetic expression. It makes you fat. Then it makes you prone to plenty diseases. So, how are we supposed to be living? And if you follow this method, you're going to prevent development of these chronic diseases. And if you already have one or more of them, you're going to reverse them. Okay? So, you cannot reverse with drugs what you brought on by lifestyle problems. Okay, so drugs may be important in the acute emergency stages, but when it comes to overcoming the disease, eventually you need to adjust your lifestyle, which is actually the cause of the problem. There are times that you're supposed to eat, and there are times you're supposed to fast. So I'm going to mention fasting. A lot of people don't like fasting. Some say that when you fast, you develop ulcer. I disagree completely, because fasting alone cannot make you develop ulcer. It is when you have stress and you are not eating appropriately with the stress, that is when ulcer can come, because the stomach secretes acid. And this acid is supposed to help destroy germs that are in the food and also help in terms of digestion. So, acid is secreted by some of the cells in the stomach, and another cell secretes protective cover, the mucus. Now, when you are stressed, the mucus on the lining of the stomach prevents the acid from making contact with the cells. So the acid cannot bond the cell and create a wound or an ulcer. So, but when you are stressed, you produce more acid and then you produce less mucus. So you can see that that's a recipe for ulcer. So if the stress is chronic, then over time, you have thin layer of mucus, and eventually you have exposure of the cells. And with the increased amount of acid production, then you can easily have ulcer. And so when you also want to overcome the ulcer, you need to overcome the stress. Okay? Meditate a lot, sleep a lot, do what you can do and leave the rest. And then you take medications for the ulcer. Most ulcers will heal within 2 months of treatment. So after that, if you still continue to have ulcer, it means that the chronic stress is ongoing. You have not overcome that. Those who are having ulcer right now, they will not be able to follow this dietary program. You need to first of all take care of the ulcer, heal the ulcer before they can partake in this program. But for other people, you can eat like intermittent fasting. You eat for 4 hours of the day and you fast for 20 hours of the day. So while you are eating, you can eat anything you want to eat, but make sure you are also taking vegetables, raw vegetables with it. Some people That's for those who want to eat maybe once a day. Those who want to eat twice a day, you can stretch it to 6 hours or 8 hours. There are many diseases that are awaiting those who are following the modern day lifestyle of eating 3 times a day, eating processed foods, eating mainly cooked food. All right. So, like I mentioned, a lot of those diseases are also maintained by the lifestyle. When you go to the hospital, they are diagnosed. Unfortunately, they just give you only medications. And if anything, they just adjust your lifestyle a bit, and it's insignificant. It's not enough to sway the force of the progression of these diseases. When you're really sick and you are eating, you are feeding your sickness, you're feeding your disease. That's why when you're sick, your appetite is cut off. It's natural. So in the treatment of disease, you don't only bring drugs, you also allow nature to be part of the healing process. We say, we, the medical health workers, we care and God heals. But do we even allow God to do the healing? We give our drugs and then we force feed our patients. Okay, we tell them, go and eat. Or the relatives also bring food, they force you to eat. And then when you eat, the body doesn't need the food, so the body throws it out. So it becomes another symptom. And they give you drug to forcefully retain the food. And every healing needs energy. The handling of food too needs energy. And a healing person needs all the energy he or she can get. So you don't give them. Look at animals when they are sick. Your dog, your cat, it avoids food and drinks water and rests a lot. And eventually it gets healed. I'm talking of the local ones, not the ones that you call doctors, veterinary doctors for. Local ones, most of the time, they just drink water and they get well. I also remember when I watch Nat Geo Wild, the animals usually don't get sick, but they get injured maybe when they fight. And sometimes the injury can be very severe. And all I've seen is that they will lie down, they stop eating, they drink water, lie down, and after some hours, they stand up and start moving around. And after a few days or weeks, the wounds heal completely. So, but human beings, we keep interfering with nature. So, we'll have to learn to alternate eating with fasting. If you don't fast, then you are not living right. Sometimes we have cold, okay, and we'll blame it on the weather. No, it's because our immune system is poor. And how do you rejuvenate your immune system? Fasting. Okay? Right. So what I give my patients some regiment, okay, in which they will have to fast, they also have to eat. Now they eat once a day, cooked food once a day. Cooked food is actually the source of a lot of the problems that we get from food. Sugar, bad oil, and all that. And then it's also very poor in micronutrients because of the way we prepare the food. So, but we have a lot of micronutrients in raw food like vegetables and fruit, especially vegetables, herbs. So I give my patients vegetable smoothies that they will take in the morning. And it's not in the early hours of the morning, it will be in the late hours of the morning, like 10, 11. All right. And those who do this, 100% improvement in their conditions. 100%, all of them. Okay, so except those who don't carry it out. Now, I will also say that for those who have ulcer, there's a modification that you need to do. Okay, you may not put the shombo, cayenne pepper, and the rest. All right. So I'll mention the vegetables that I usually give my patients. Garlic, 3 cloves of garlic. Now, the bulb of garlic, those sections that you break off, those are the cloves. 3 or 4. If it is a small garlic, if it's a big one, you can take 2. Right? Now, ginger. If it's ginger powder, 1 tablespoon. Or make sure that you are the one that grounded your powder yourself. And then turmeric. Also turmeric, 1 tablespoon. Ginger and turmeric, if it's not powder, 1 finger. If it's the fresh one, 1 finger for both ginger and turmeric. If it's powder, 1 tablespoon. All right. Now, turmeric is important because you can't absorb it without oil. So because of that, we put 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Not any oil, olive oil. And then black pepper, because black pepper helps to absorb turmeric. So black pepper will be 1 teaspoon of black pepper powder. And then cucumber, 1. Beetroot, 1. Apple, you can do 2 apples or 1 apple and 1 other fruit. 1 other fruit like mango, not the big mango, the organic mango, the small one. One of my patients wasn't getting good results until I found out she was using that big mango, that's like 6 of the small ones. So it's the small mango one. Now, mango is not always available. So you can also use pawpaw. If you're using pawpaw, to be 1 slice. And then if you can't get any fruit, then let it be 2 apples. Or 1 apple, 1 pear, 1 English pear. Then cayenne pepper, 2. Then bitter leaf, 1 or 2 bitter leaves. Scent leaf, about 6 scent leaf. Then you put a cup or 2 of water in your blender. It must be a very strong blender. And then you blend very well, smooth it, let it be very smooth. Then you drink it for breakfast around 10 or 11. Now, this amount will fill your tummy and you are not likely to be hungry until evening. In any case, if you get hungry in the afternoon, you can take green tea or green tea and a handful of nuts, like cashew nut or almond nut, not groundnut too. That doesn't mean that you should never take groundnuts. You can take groundnuts once in a while, but it shouldn't be frequent and it should not be much. Then in the evening, between 4 and 6, you can now take your cooked food that we really desire. So that one, there's not much restriction. It's just that if you're going to eat rice, let it have vegetables. More vegetables than the rice. The Chinese, the Japanese, they eat rice a lot. In fact, on a daily basis. And yet, they don't have all these chronic diseases that we're talking about. Because they always eat it with plenty of vegetables. But look at us here in Nigeria when we're eating rice. A full plate of rice and just two. There's no vegetable at all. And so after rice, your sugar goes up. And then if you keep doing that, you find out that you become obese. And then you're also programming yourself to have many of those chronic diseases I mentioned earlier. So now, after 6, no food. Most of the time, you will not be hungry. But in case you get hungry, you can take tea again. But this time is not green tea. You know, green tea also has some caffeine. And in the evening, you don't want to take anything that has caffeine so that your sleep will not be interrupted. So you can take chamomile tea. Chamomile tea. You may also take it with garden egg or cucumber. You are not supposed to eat again, okay, until tomorrow morning around 10 or 11 o'clock. So if you count it, you see you are getting to about 16, 18 hours of fast, which is good. Now, that should be your regular lifestyle. Then weekly, you do between 24 to 48 hours of fasting every week. 24 means, okay, you stop eating this evening, you don't eat again till tomorrow evening. But you can drink water. Now, this type of fasting is not for those who are treating ulcer. You get your ulcer treated, and then when you are healed of ulcer, you can. Now, let me quickly say that ulcer actually is not because of fasting. It's because of stress, chronic stress. So when you are stressed, you produce more acid in the stomach and less mucus that protects the stomach linings. And so when you take care of your stress by meditation, sleeping well, resting, do your best and leave the rest, then you can treat your ulcer for 1 or 2 months. It should heal. And then after it has healed, you may be able to do fasting. Okay? Now, so in a week, you do 1 or 2 days fasting, or 1.5. When I say 1.5, it means I don't eat from 6 today till tomorrow 6 o'clock. I'm supposed to eat again. No, I will not eat. Then I'll move it to maybe around 11 o'clock. So that was about 36 hours fast. 36 hours fast is very good. Your body will produce a lot of immune boosters. The body will produce growth hormone, and growth hormone will help you. So don't be afraid that when you fast, you're going to lose weight. No, except if you are very obese. But if you are slender, you're not going to, because you're also going to gain muscle. You can also exercise moderately while you are fasting. So when you do moderate exercise with a lot of boost of growth hormone, you will find out that your muscle mass will increase. Growth hormone is actually very expensive if you want to get it, and it has a lot of side effects, exogenous growth hormone. So, but when you fast, you have many-fold the amount that you will even pay for. So it's cheap. It's a cheap source of growth hormone, and growth hormone is very important. Let me tell you one story of my observation. My first son went to a school where they really took proper care of them. Then my 2 other children went to another school. Now this first school, if you see the students from that school, they are short but well fed, stocky, most of them on the average. Now this other school, for my other 2 children, they don't feed them properly. So sometimes maybe they skip meals and they give them a lot of like beans and all that. So And what I observe is that most of this, on the average, the students of this school are slender and very tall indeed. In fact, my second child is taller than me. My first son is not as tall as me. Then the other one, the third child too, who also went to the second school, is a little taller than me too. And is just about 15, 16 years now. So, and it's not limited to them. Most of their friends, classmates, they are tall on the average. And there's a science behind it. It's about growth hormone. When you fast, you produce growth hormone. So when you eat, you can easily grow if you are still growing. But if you're not growing again, like most adults now, the growth hormone helps you to form good muscle mass, and it helps your immune system as well. Yeah. So that's it for fasting to prevent disease. Now, for those who already are diabetic, those who are hypertensive, those who have cancer, or whatever autoimmune disease, you want to reverse the diseases. What do you do? What kind of fast do you engage in? You do a prolonged fast. Now, this fast, you need to get in contact with your physician because it's medically guided. This is when you do 2, 3, 5 days fast at a stretch. Now, when you start, your first day is not so difficult. The most difficult period is the second day. Now, what you do at that period is you take a lot of water. You can take tea, black tea, green tea, you can take coffee. Just make sure that there is no sweetener, no sugar, no honey, because that will break the fast and bring up insulin. You want to keep insulin down, very low. And you want to bring up glucagon, you want to bring up adrenaline, you want to bring up cortisol, and you want to bring up growth hormone. Okay? So you're just drinking water. There's a gentleman that I went to see at home. A friend of mine took me to him. And when I saw him, he had so many diseases. He had diabetes, not controlled, hypertension, not controlled, arthritis, autoimmune disease, obese. Then he started forgetting things. I think he was in his late 60s. So I was looking, okay, what is the one treatment I will give him that will take care of all this? So I said, Oga, can you fast? So he said, I will do anything, because I've been spending a lot of money traveling to take care of myself, but I'm not getting good results. So I said, if you just fast, 3 days fast. So I put him on fast. And I put him, there's a vegetable powder they call barley. I asked him to take barley. Don't worry about barley, you can do green smoothie. Okay? Not smoothie, sorry, green juice. Because if you take smoothie, it has fiber, and then it will also make your body to go into digestion. You don't want the body to be in that mode. So you just take only green juice. Now, there's a difference between smoothie and juice. You use blender to produce smoothie. You use a juice extractor to produce juice. So the juice extractor will give you the liquid and the fiber on another side. Okay? You can use that to eat your rice somehow later. But the juice, that's how to get your juice. So you can do green juice like lettuce, any other leaf, celery, parsley, and cucumber without carrots. So you can make that juice, and then you can be taking that. You can take green tea, you can take coffee while you are fasting, and then ordinary water, of course. So he started the fast, and I was in communication with him. That's why I said it has to be medically guided. You need to inform your physician, let him plan it with you, and then let him be with you. And then don't do it when you are alone. Somebody has to be with you all through the time. Then about drugs, your diabetic drugs you will stop, but you can take your hypertensive drug, aspirin or vasopressin, or you can take the other drugs, you can take supplements, okay? So by the time he ended the fast, the sugar came down from 11 point something, it came down to 5.6. And I introduced him gradually. After that fast, he was able to now correct his diet. I now put him on this 2 times a day eating, where you take smoothie in the morning and cook food in the evening. And his sugar has normalized. Since then, I think it's more than a year now. Not only did the sugar normalize, the blood pressure came down, and then the arthritis also improved. Of course, the mental alertness improved. Because, when you eat, because the brain cannot use fat for energy, it stores protein. So that during fasting, the protein is broken down through gluconeogenesis to produce glucose for the brain cells. So because the brain cell cannot use any other thing but glucose for energy. Now, if you don't fast, those proteins continue to accumulate in your brain over time, and they begin to disrupt the normal functioning of your brain. They become what is called amyloids. And these are the things that are found in dementia, Alzheimer's disease, and Parkinson's disease, and other brain problems, chronic brain problems. Okay, so when you fast, you'll notice that from the second day, you are getting more clarity. Your mind is clear, your thinking process, you're becoming more energized and all that. That's because you are clearing the amyloids in your brain. Okay? The cortisol that your body produces during fasting stimulates them and kicks them into gluconeogenesis for glucose. So, some people can go on to 5 days fast, some people can do 7 days fast, but I've not really done it with anybody yet. My limit is 3 days. Or you can do that 3 days like once every month. You do that 3 days once a month, and then in a week you do 24 hours to 46 hours. 24 hours to 36 hours every week. So you can choose the day of the week that you want to do your fast. And so that means you stop eating at around 6 today, like tomorrow by 6, you skip the eating again to around 12 the next day. Well, of course, you'll be taking fluids, like I said. So if you do this, you will begin to notice a lot of benefits. What are the benefits you will notice? Benefits of fasting. Your inflammation level will drop. Inflammation is what is driving many diseases. So inflammation will drop. And inflammation is behind development of diabetes. Inflammation as type 2 diabetes, even type 1. Inflammation is behind the development of hypertension and other cardiovascular diseases. Inflammation is behind autoimmune diseases, behind cancer, and so on, even aging. So a lot of people are inflamed because our insulin level is high all the time. So you need to get your insulin level down. Okay? Then fasting promotes heart health. Like I said, formation of atherosclerosis is down during fasting. And so your heart health is better because your blood pressure eventually will drop. And then It corrects insulin resistance. Diabetes, type 2 diabetes is nothing but insulin resistance. Okay? They usually have a lot of insulin. The diabetic patient, type 2 diabetic patient, have plenty insulin. Like what 10 molecules of insulin normally should do, they will need, like, depending on the degree of resistance, they will need like 100 molecules. So you have insulin just flooding the system and causing other issues, reducing the level of glucagon, reducing cortisol, reducing gluconeogenesis, reducing the burning of fat. It inhibits all that and inhibits the cleansing of your system. Okay? It also boosts your brain function, like I explained earlier. Fasting boosts your brain function. Okay? If you're a student, okay, you should fast. There was a time when I was in school, I had a dream. That dream was a very bad dream. So I was scared after I woke up. So I felt like compelled to do a 3-day fast. So I did a 3-day fast without water, and I didn't eat anything. But on the evening of the second day, I was forced to drink water because I was too weak. So I drank water. Then I was able to now do the remaining 24 hours. What did I notice after that? Clarity, more mental clarity. And I could remember things much better. Okay, then it also promotes weight loss. Now, weight loss is just a symptom of wrong living. Obesity, overweight. It's just a symptom of wrong living. And don't make it a goal. I want to lose weight. Because the tendency is you're going to be starving yourself, not eating properly, and then eventually you get to your goal. When you get to your goal, there's this, I've arrived. Achievement mentality. Then you just go back to what you were doing before again, and then you gain the weight back. So you'll be doing yo-yo. You're not really making any progress, and it's even dangerous. So just focus on living healthy, and your weight will be taken care of as a side thing. Okay, then it promotes growth hormone, like I said. From about 12 hours of fast, you begin to increase growth hormone. Growth hormone gets to its peak from the 24th to 48 hour of fast. So when you do a 24 hours fast, your growth hormone is very high. When you do 48 hours, it's also it gets to its peak. Then there's what they call autophagy. Old and senile cells that are just floating around our body that are useless. In fact, they are dangerous. The body begins to use them, destroy them, recycle the protein in them, those organelles in the cells, destroys them and reuse them again. Okay? So this happens from around 18 hours to 72 hours of fast. So from 18 hours, autophagy sets in. Autophagy is very important. Autophagy is the reason why anybody who's engaging in this cannot have cancer. Okay, because those are the cells that are also destroyed by autophagy. It also boosts your microbiome, the gut bacteria. Because of the fasting, the wrong bacteria, they don't have their regular food because they are the ones that eat on all the nonsense food that we eat. So they will die off, and the good bacteria begins to grow gradually. And it has been found that obesity, for example, is due to the kind of microflora that you have in your gut. Certain gut flora promote weight gain. There was something that was found by mistake. There's a lady that had a very bad GI condition that was not relenting. So they took biopsy, poop, stool from the daughter. The daughter was obese. So they took stool from her and infused it into the mother's colon to stop that condition. It actually stopped the condition. But a month later, she started gaining weight until she became obese like the daughter. And they didn't know. So that was one of the things that made people to know that, okay, the microflora, the gut microflora may be important in weight gain and weight loss. So these days now, they use probiotic in the treatment of obesity. So you fast. When you're also fasting, you can be taking the probiotic to change your flora. So these are the benefits of fasting. And when you're also fasting, you can also exercise. You can do moderate exercise, like trekking, small press up, push up and all that, going up and down. You can do a little of that. So it also improves your longevity. There's this telomere in the DNA. It helps it to elongate. The longer it is, the longer you live. So fasting helps to elongate that. Growth hormone also elongates it. And then some drugs like metformin can also help to elongate that. And then meditation can do that. So these are the summary of what I have for you today. Okay? Eating right. We have been doing it the wrong way. So if you can do this, you will find out that your health, you have control of your health. Your health is my joy, and that's why I'm here. So click the like and then subscribe so that you can get our videos when they come. Thank you very much.